Now, let's come back home now, and hundreds of businesses across the country are on the verge of collapse as pressure mounts from soaring energy costs. Businesses and unions say companies are faced with the grim choice of raising their own prices or absorbing the higher cost of gas and electricity, which they simply can't afford to do, of course. Industry leaders have warned they could be facing economic carnage and forced closures within 6 to 12 months unless immediate action is taken. Joining us now live from Melbourne to discuss this is the Australian Industry Group's Chief Executive, Ines Willox. Thanks for joining us again, Ines. What sort of assistance is required here? You can't expect the government to subsidise energy prices, surely.
Well, Chris, this is a problem that's not going to go away anytime soon. So we're seeing, huge increases for many companies. I was talking to a member the other day who's now paying $150,000 a day more in energy costs than they were just a couple of weeks ago. So that just shows you the magnitude of this and how quickly it's growing. But it's not going away immediately. So all the solutions we've been talking about, potentially for consideration, like gas reservation and the like, they're still a long way away from taking effect. So what you've got to look at is how can government, through a range of policies, provide support to industries, to food processors, to brick makers, to paper manufacturers, all of those sort of key industries to our industrial base. So at the moment, it's a narrow but very deep problem, but it threatens to get wider by the day as more and more businesses come up for contract renewal. So what can governments do, Chris? They've got to look at supports. You use the word subsidies. Nobody likes subsidies, but there's got to be supports for business to help them get through, to reduce their costs. Look broader than just energy, but look to other areas where businesses are having to make payments to try to smooth it for them to get through. We hope a lot will. We hope they all will, but they won't. Unfortunately, we've already seen closures.
There have been many factors at play here, including international factors, but underlying all this is, of course, the transition from our fossil fuel-based energy supplies to renewable energy supplies. And that's a transition that your group has supported for many, many years and are still pushing. I mean, isn't this the problem, that we have actually undermined our own energy security and affordability?
Well, I think you've got to look at a couple of horizons here. You have the problems that are here and now that have been created with coal-fired power stations not getting the investment they need and deserve to keep going to provide that baseload energy that we all need. Then you've got to look ahead to where investors are going, where businesses themselves are going, which is down the renewables path. The big point here is that gas was always intended to be a bridge between the two, and we've just about priced ourselves out of the market. The fact that we are one of the world's one or two gas producers and we're looking to have to import energy, we're paying global prices, is sort of bordering on the ridiculous, but that's the situation we've got ourselves into, and that's what we've been warning against for some time, that was likely to happen. So we know where we're going to go. We know where we are now, and we're not in a great place to get to where we need to go because we're going to feel enormous short-term pain here, and that's what we've been warning about.
We sure are. There's a lot worse to come before it gets better, and we'll keep on it. Thanks for joining us, Ines.
Thanks, Chris. You take care.